Right guys, doing how to train like a samurai videos 36 to 40. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going through a few things, but let me know what your favourites are below. I did do a poll on this series to see if people wanted me to stop, but 85% of the people said they wanted to continue with the series, but it has the least amount of views on my channel. But have a look, enjoy the videos, and do make comments below, and maybe try and share this video around. If you know anywhere that does historical samurai or medieval stuff, share it on any platform there and help me out. Right guys, when you send out scout teams, remember we talked about this, you go up one side, down the other, and everybody's scouting. You're going to send out roughly a minimum of 12 teams. Now the commentaries on this do say you don't have to stick to this rule, but the idea is you've got 12 double teams. So that means one samurai and one ashigaru. Now the samurai goes out on horse because he's there to sort of, investigate the sort of areas up and down he goes. He can quickly get up hills and down and have a look in little dells and hollows and everything like that, and he can move along roads. And the ashigaru next to him can go into the crevices and get where the horse can't get. He can just go further down and creep in and look into caves, look behind trees. If it's a bit hard for the samurai with his banner to get through there, he can get, and they keep coming back together. So remember, your samurai, these two go out in teams, and there's like 12 teams going out all over the place. And while this guy can go out and go in like zigzag patterns like we talked, this guy can go and walk and look behind trees, and they come back together and come back home, back to the main army. So there you go guys, when you do scouting in teams, you do 2-man scout teams. So what do you think to the drawing this week? It's not a bad one this time, is it? Right guys, if you are coming across the enemy, or you're going to go to battle with the enemy, you got to keep a good look on the wind. So if the wind is extremely strong coming from behind, and it's coming right from behind you, it means the enemy are like this, their eyes are like that, their flags are pushing backwards. The enemy, it's got to be a strong wind. It doesn't have to be a gale, but like that wind where you're like, I have to shut my eyes a bit, I have to push forward a bit, that type of wind and above. So not just when there's a breeze coming, but if the wind is howling from behind, attack the enemy, because you've got such an advantage. Excuse me. But if the wind is coming at your face and you've got to push into it, don't attack, break off, reform, regroup somewhere else. And remember, we're using the Book of Samurai series, so I hope yours is getting as colourful and as complex as mine is. It's looking very good. I hope you're keeping up with this, guys. Get yourself a copy of the Natoryu Blank Workbook, the hardback, and keep up doing with this samurai training. Right guys, the 3 forms of sudden attack. So imagine you're a samurai, right? And in an army, or in a force, or in a troop that's out there, and suddenly you just come across the enemy. You'll both come into the edge of something, or round a corner, or you've come out of the woods and you're like, oh, we didn't know they were there. Your scouts have not reported it. They failed to see them. For whatever reason, you come onto each other. There are 3 ways to deal with this. There's the first way, the middle way, and the last way. Now, and these were passed down in the Takeda clan, and they were passed on to Natori Sanjuro Masazumi, Isui Sensei. And what he says is, the first situation is this: if you come across someone and they are not arrayed, they are not set up, they're not marching well, they're not prepared well, just go. Get like, troops now, move. And then we go, in you go, and start killing them. And the rest of you troops go in and you all start moving very quickly, very sharply. The second one is difficult. It says like when a string is about to break. So you've come across each other, you're forming up, but there's just a lack of something on their side. You sort of beat them to the punch and you go for it, because you know that just about the strings, about everything's getting a bit, and click, the string goes, in you go. So that's a bit more difficult to make it, you understand it. But it's more a case of you feel the other people have gone, they've seen you, they're not just in total disarray, they're there, but they're not sure what to do. Move, go for it. When you feel they are not sure what to do, attack. The third situation, so we've got the first one there, the second one, and the third one. The third situation is the enemy are well prepared. They're the ones in position number 1. They're like, quick, just go. They meet you, and for some reason they just go. It's bad tactics on their side, because if you're like this, it's bad tactics on your side. But because you're a Natoryu member, you're a student of Natoryu, you've marched in proper formation, you're fully set up, and this is what they come across. You just sit, move back, hold, brace, hold, brace, wait for them, now go, charge. So it's like, so don't forget guys, we're working from the Book of Samurai series, so get yourself a copy, and we're working from Nato Ryu blank workbook. See you in the next video. Right guys, we're on today. So we are going to talk today about when you get attacked and what formations you should take. Now I do have to warn you, these images are not direct the formations you should take, in the sense that you don't exactly get like this, but it's just an overview. So we've been dealing here with sudden attacks. So here we've got a 3-step system for when you are being attacked when you're on the march. So this doesn't mean you've set up formation, it doesn't mean you've set up on the battlefield, somebody's coming to attack you and you are not in formation, you are just marching along. So what you do, you march along, the first thing you do is get everyone into a circle. So it doesn't matter how big your army is, everyone into a circle and fend off anyone that attacks from any direction. And then what you do is this circle starts to break up and starts forming from the rear. So if this is the front, people are going to attack, the rear starts forming up correctly, and the people at the front who are in the circle defend them until you can totally get into formation with your Hatamoto groups, your vanguards, your side attacks, your reserves, or people you need to protect. So it's from a march to a circle, and from the back of the circle here, not here, you start to form up. So as these people battle off, the formation takes a hard aggressive stance, and then you're ready to go, and then you can force yourself forward. And that's where you get into the idea of, are we ready, are we not ready? So that's what we're working with today. Of course, get yourself a copy of the Book of Samurai, and keep up to date with what we're doing from the Nato Ryu blank work. Okay, for today's lesson, imagine that you're in a snowstorm, you're a samurai army, you've got horseback riders, you've got, you've got foot soldiers, you've got samurai on foot, and the snow is piling up. So what should you do? You basically dismount and you send your horses to the front, obviously with their grooms and everything, or with the rider just behind, but the horses go to the front of the army and they just go through the snow and they're crushing it down, and the samurai or the grooms with them are crushing it down, so the rest of the army can walk on it. Remember, there might be more people on foot than there are on horseback. So what you do is you get all the horses to the front and off they go, smashing through the snow, and eventually that will pave a way for your army. So not really something you can put into modern practice today unless you get a group of vans to go ahead of you. But the point is we have to imagine the samurai back in the day doing what they do, and this is what it would be: dismounting, getting off, sending the army forward, sending the horses forward of the army so that everyone else can keep going. So there you go guys, we were using the Nato Ryu blank workbook, and we're working from the Book of Samurai series.